Good evening, family, and welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. February 11, 2026. The meeting between Netanyahu and Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, Commander-in-Chief of the world's largest army, has ended. Here are the results. And what could have happened during those more than 3 hours of meeting between the most powerful men on this planet? Family, your likes, your comments, let's begin. Let's start.
Good evening, family. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. Thank you very much for being with us. The meeting is over. The cards, the game has begun. Each of the players has taken their card, their seat at the table, and their numbers. The bets are closed. 3 hours of meeting between Netanyahu and Donald J. Trump. 3 hours where they have discussed, where the most important parts have been talked about. And what are the terms under which Israel could accept or not? That's also another debate. Could they accept or not? A truce? Not peace. There will never be peace between the Iranian regime and Israel. The Iranian regime has done a lot of harm to Israel. Not only military harm, but also years of conspiring. Financing and preparing attacks like the one on October 7th. That's right. Family, welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now, an interesting program, a continuation of the previous one. Now, since we have more information, we have more data. Obviously, what's happening, what's going on, Vivi is maybe in a little while, in a few hours, heading back to Israel. It has been a lightning trip. It has been a quick, unexpected trip. A trip where we don't know exactly what it is, although I can imagine what it is. And here we're going to give you some clues. We're going to give you clues about exactly what all this means. Why Netanyahu? Why did he go there? What does Donald J. Trump think? We're going to be amazed by all this. Please, family, your likes and your comments are super important. Donald Trump has spoken. In fact, there will be a press conference by Donald J. Trump soon. I suspect that this press conference is going to be aimed at talking precisely about this. In an hour, Donald J. Trump will appear before the media to explain to us, to tell us what is going to happen with Iran. What is the next part? And why can't Iran have nuclear weapons? And more things. Netanyahu has reached the meeting, not just to see a friend, to explain to an entire country, to the United States of America, that the fight between good and evil doesn't just concern Israel, it concerns the whole planet. And that if this threat isn't ended today, the Iranian regime's threat will eventually reach the doors of the United States of America. It's not a fantasy, it's a real reality. In recent years, that regime, the regime of the Ayatollahs, has been taking over and establishing operational bases in countries like Venezuela and Colombia, Argentina, Mexico,
Cada vez más cerca.
United States of America. Hello? There have been intelligence operations to dismantle all those threats, but in some cases, sometimes they have failed. And unfortunately, innocent people have paid the price for the security failures of these great powers. Now is not the time for mistakes. We can't make another mistake like the one on October 7th or like the Argentine-Israelite Mutual Association in Argentina attacks. Now is a special moment. It's a time when decisions have to be made, tough decisions. With or without the United States, it doesn't matter. Israel is clear about its sovereignty. What is its priority, and what does it need to do to prevail over the tyranny of the Iranian regime? Donald Trump promised the protesters that they should take to the streets. That help was on the way. If that help was on the way, they've been waiting for a while, and we can't leave them stranded. That's not what America does. America makes it great. Always being on the right side of history and supporting people who want to free themselves from tyranny. Venezuela is one of them. Christians in Africa. Israel and Gaza. Iram in the world? It's the same Donald Trump who launched an attack in Operation Midnight Hammer. Now, we don't need just a hammer. We want the whole hardware store. Hammers, shovels, crowbars, paintbrushes, drills. We need everything. Everything to take down a regime that has been preparing for years. That has invested its budget, the budget meant for its civilian population, on hospitals, schools. Instead of improving their quality of life, they've built missiles that cost millions of dollars to kill human beings. Let no one forget this. Subtitles created by Dimitar Zok. They talk about peace, love, and a faith that does not. Humanity? The reality is that they use religion to justify their actions. Are you seeing it well there? What has Donald Trump said about this topic? After this introduction, let me welcome you, as I said here, to Military Strategies, your information channel. All the things that are happening, we are also going to connect them. With Flight Radar to see the latest movements, what's happening, what's going on. And I announce to you that religion tonight. For the first time on Military Strategies, we are going to dive right into the topic I promised last week. I announced that there would be consequences. And I say like Marco Rubio, when Donald Trump says something will happen, it does, but people treat it like a joke. When I say something is going to happen, something is going to happen, and I think usually people don't take it as a joke. I promised last week that we were going to talk about Mexico. Well, the day has come. Today is going to be the day when, in addition, the United States of America will begin military operations against the cartel. Don't miss it in a little while here on Military Strategies in the exclusive Operation Mexico. I'm sorry. Everyone chooses what they do in this life. Let's go to the map. How are the skies right now? How are we doing? I've made the cursor bigger so you can see it now, okay? Your suggestions are always heard. By the way, I want to say hi to someone. It's going to be amazing for me. I want to send a greeting to someone who was at a shopping mall in Spain today, going down some stairs and watching Military Strategies on their phone. Please, when you're going down the escalators at a shopping mall, don't watch this show, just in case you fall. I've got eyes everywhere. That's what I've been told. A shout out to that follower. Thank you so much for watching our channel. Impressed, huh? Impressed? All right. There they are. The shipments keep coming, one after another, one after another. It doesn't stop. They come and go from everywhere, from Armenia, from Azerbaijan. They're surrounding Iran. Iran's surrounded. Tremendous, huh? Notice that the plane that has been practicing for hours with special operations groups over England is still there. They're still circling. What do we have over the Atlantic? Let's take a look. A plane that's going to cross directly, not even stopping in the United Kingdom to rest. This Super Hercules has already crossed as well. Let's take a look at it. Hey, how are things in Mexico? I'm really looking forward to starting the other show. I'm serious. Subtitles by Dimitorzak. Oh, Mexico, Mexico, my goodness, things are going to get crazy. I just don't want to start yet. We're going to save it. Let's save the Mexico topic for later. Now, after. We'll get into the Mexico issue because it's going to be good. Mexico's going to be really good. Anyway, Donald J. Trump, what has he said about meeting with Vivi? First impressions and comments. Vivi, what have you done, Vivi? Twitter has become the spokesperson for many countries, including the United States. We go here, there we are. I just met with the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and several of his representatives. It was a very positive meeting. The excellent relationship between our two countries continues. No definitive agreement was reached except that I insisted negotiations with Iran will continue to see if a deal can be made. If it can be done, I will inform the Prime Minister that it will be my preference. If not, we will simply have to see what the outcome is. Last time, Iran decided it was better not to reach an agreement and received a midnight blow. That didn't work for them. Let's hope they're more reasonable and responsible this time. Also, we talked about the tremendous progress being made in Gaza, in the region in general. Is there really peace in the Middle East? Thank you for your attention to this matter. To be continued. This is a political message. It's a diplomatic message. It's not reality. Please let no one be deceived. There is no peace in the Middle East as long as there is a regime aiming more than 2,000 ballistic missiles at a country called Israel. I don't consider that peace, nor do I think it's peace, but if they believe it is, I respect it. Even though I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. Because besides, if there were peace, they wouldn't be preparing for a war. And that's what the preparations indicate. The logistics, the forces, the numbers are there. And it seems more like we're just buying time to launch the attack against Iran. Iran, which isn't stupid, knows this and knows it won't give up its nuclear program. They know that their nuclear program is 100% necessary and that their ballistic missile program is also 100% necessary because they always have to justify launching an attack against someone, and that's not going to be possible. And as we all know, that's not going to be possible. And we already know the mentality of the Ayatollah and his entourage, Arajani, Moghadam, and all these people, as we already know, what they think, what they prioritize within their national needs. We know there's going to be an attack. In fact, I think Vivi went there and told them something quite interesting. I think Vivi must have told him, Donald, we're friends. You know me. You know me well. Also, even if you make a deal with the Iranians, if they don't dismantle the nuclear program and don't dismantle the missile threads, the launchers and the missiles and the missile program. And in fact, if they stop funding Hezbollah, I'm going to attack them. You can do whatever you want, sign whatever you want. That sounds good to me, but I have a country. I have a responsibility. I'm the leader of a country, and the missiles are going to fall on me, not on you. And I think Donald Trump must have understood it. At least if he didn't, Marco Rubio did. He must have understood it. The Secretary of War and some cabinet members must have understood it. There will be some who are critical. Obviously, there are some who are critical and don't want a military operation against Iran to be launched. And there are others, obviously, who do support it. That is to say, there is a clear division within the Republican Party about whether to attack or not. But on this issue, on the issue of overthrowing the Iranian regime, I think there isn't as much division as there is on other issues we might consider, or as there has been throughout history. That's why it's super important, family. There are 5,000 of us here, and we're missing a lot of likes. We need to share this live stream. In fact, I haven't shared it on Twitter for days. I'm going to share it right now. This live stream we're doing at this moment. And I think it's interesting, very, very interesting. This is because the future of Israel, the region, and the whole world is included in our current discussion. There are several possible scenarios, several. We have a scenario where Donald Trump decides to launch a solo attack without involving Israel at all. Iran responds, launches an attack on Israel. Israel joins the attack, and together they defeat the regime. That's one scenario, scenario number one. Could we look for another scenario? Donald Trump and Netanyahu, Israel and the United States launch a joint attack to overthrow the regime. It's open war with missiles launched at each other until this stops. There would be other possible scenarios in this story. And then we have another scenario. This one is perhaps the most complex. Trump signs an agreement with Iran. A bad deal without a doubt. Negotiating with Iran is a waste of time. Many people within the Republican Party have said so. Israel decides to launch a solo attack, dragging the United States of America into that attack. This would affect Donald Trump's relationships with Netanyahu. It would be a turning point, without a doubt. I remember the last day of the war when Iran, out of time, launched a salvo of missiles that killed Israelis. Netanyahu gave the order to the planes to take out the Ayatollah. That morning, the planes were going to look for the Ayatollah wherever he was. Trump found out and, through social media, in a way giving orders to Israel, told them to turn back. Israel can accept it once. Because of the friendship they have with Trump, because of everything Trump has done for Israel since he came into power in this second term. Due to the support in the Gaza war, and all that is happening. But Israel can't make the same mistake twice. If we have to attack, we will attack. I think this is what Bibi went to say. He went to say, we pay for our weapons. We are allies. We are your best ally. We are part of the American people. Many of our citizens have American nationality, and you, just like me, have the obligation to protect them all of them. And with Iran, you can't. And besides, Trump himself, at the beginning of the year, with the protests, told them to go out and protest in the streets. He won't leave them hanging. Now, all that blood spilled, more than 30,000. I've already heard numbers that are scary, like 90,000 people. 90,000 people killed in the protests. It's completely insane. And it makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. I want to mention, let me make a parenthesis. Now that I just remembered something, I want to mention that military strategies, not right now. Everything you see on TikTok, every show or content you see on TikTok is illegal. Has a legal process already been started to report this? The content copiers that you are using, I advise you to stop doing this. We only broadcast on YouTube and Twitch. We will do it on TikTok when the time comes. I'm saying this because I don't want anyone to get shut down or receive complaints, but that's it. I'm completely stepping away now and things are going to happen. I can show you several channels that were already shut down. Whoever wants to broadcast our content, just come and send me an email. We'll talk about it. It's great. It's not for any other reason. It's just because I like to have control over what we talk about. Because then they cut it in half and start taking pieces out without any permission, none at all. Getting back to the topic, Netanyahu. He first met with Marco Rubio, which I think was positive. He had an initial contact with Secretary Marco Rubio. They get along well, he explained the situation to him. Marco, do you think he understood the needs? Marco is among the people Donald Trump listens to most on this issue. Now, what remains to be known is, well, there are several things, obviously, there are several things. How and when? How and when? This is where I'm going to say something that might disappoint people a little. In 6 days, Ramadan begins. The United States needs another aircraft carrier. The bus wouldn't be available for another 2 weeks, even if we really rushed it. In a few weeks, the bus could be sent. But normally when they finish the exercise they're doing, now that it's the deployment preparation exercise, the crew is given a month of vacation so they can say goodbye to their families and, well, relax. Aircraft carrier deployments are big deployments. If this changes, that is, if we skip that break, the bus would be available in about 2 weeks to start operation. It could also happen that during the trip to El Mediterraneo, the bus carries out those operations. What we're talking about right now, I want to show you something so you can understand it. This is just for you. You won't find this anywhere else. Really? You're not? The aircraft carrier issue. Okay. Right now, while we're talking, the aircraft carrier Bush is conducting air operations in this area. P-8 Poseidon, KC-46 Pegasus, KC-46. In this area here, preparatory operations are being carried out in northern Florida. They are speeding up the process so that their aircraft carrier, which is usually based in Norfolk, will be ready as soon as possible. And now has to step on the gas to be sent to the Middle East. It started moving. which means sending the Ford. But the Ford is busy. The Ford is currently in the Caribbean Sea, and the Ford is busy because in addition, it's reaching the end of its deployment. And because there are things that are going to happen in Cuba and in Mexico, so we can't send the Ford. The bus, which also headed south, left from Norfolk. This is the operations base of the largest navy on the east coast of the United States of America. This is where, well, there are aircraft carriers. Here we see some images that are not current. These are satellite archive images. We see destroyers, we see amphibious ships or aircraft carriers. These ones we see here. I think this is the Iwo Jima, because there's a Harry. I think it's the Iwo Jima. We have another number of aircraft. There was a cruiser there. Ticonderoga, there are Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. Well, there are tons of these, and there are tons of Ticonderogas. We also have submarines. This is one of the most important bases of the United States Navy. It's really a city. This is a whole city just for the United States Navy. The bus left from there, heading south. Or we turn it like this. We see it on this side, and it would be over this operations area, while carrying out their exercises there. Ramadan, starts in 7 days, 6 days. The dates this year for Ramadan, we're going to check. I think it's until March 17th. Let's confirm this Thursday, March 19th. Porto Aviones, he has 2 more weeks of training left, plus another week and a half. Crossing the Atlantic, we're in right now, finishing the week of February 9th. It's mid-Wednesday, we're still there. We're talking about the 16th, that would be another week. The week of the 23rd, another week, 1, 2, 3, taking us to March 2nd. And the week of the 9th, which would go until the 15th, with the 16th and 17th of March being Monday and Tuesday. I'm just putting it there to keep it consistent. It's not because the United States has to respect any religious holiday to attack an enemy who might not even observe it. It's more about the United States allies, like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan. Wouldn't they like to avoid having to carry out military operations during the month of Ramadan? It's a month when there are many travelers to Mecca and Medina because of the pilgrimage journeys. Flights could be affected, and economically this would have a very negative impact on Saudi Arabia in terms of military preparedness. People like to fast in these countries, fasting during the day and eating at night, right? And it wouldn't be the ideal scenario. Then, in Iran, the Ayatollah would come out and say that they have declared holy war on us during the sacred month of Ramadan, and that this battle will be to the death. Because the Prophet Muhammad fought during the month of Ramadan. For example, I'm trying to make sense of all these speculations that I'm bringing up here. What can we accomplish in these 4 weeks? Well, the negotiations, for example, so they keep talking, keep rambling, keep moving things up and down. More military forces are arriving, more equipment is being gathered, and when we have everything ready, Pandora's box will be open. And Ramadan Kareem, to say congratulations, Ramadan is over. Everyone back to work and moving forward afterwards. Also in terms of security inside Israel. Ramadan is always It's a black spot in the state's security because during the month of Ramadan, attacks happen. The jihadis believe that carrying out attacks during the month of Ramadan brings greater reward. Those are their own ideas. Religion doesn't say this, please. I don't want anyone to think I have anything against any religion because I don't. Everyone has their own, and that's something personal. It's a human right. It's non-transferable. And each person's relationship with God is their own business. I have mine, and everyone has theirs. Also, I'm just saying that the mentality of the jihadist in this case uses religion to justify their acts of violence against others and supposedly rewards even more for carrying out these kinds of actions during the holy month of Ramadan for Muslims. Is that the only thing that Shiites and Sunnis share throughout history? Or is it one of the few things they share on a religious or festive level? There are many other holidays that they do not share or that they do not agree on in terms of methodology. But in Ramadan, yes. In fasting, yes. And it's a month that Sunnis and Shiites share. Then we also have another one of the important stories in this topic we're talking about right now. I'm going to put a bit of information here and you'll see it. There's a country that's also key in this story. We know that Qatar is super important. The Al Udeid base, this base we see here, we know all the importance we have in this place. But then we have another remarkable situation.
Destacable.
Yes, we have another remarkable situation that we cannot ignore. The main United States naval base is not in Qatar. It's not in Qatar. Where is it? Bahrain? Here? The base of the North American fleet is located in Bahrain. The Zetcon is not in Al Udeid in Qatar, it's in Bahrain. What's going on with Bahrain? Most of the population is Shia. But the monarchy of Bahrain is Sunni. If they launch an operation inside Iran during the month of Ramadan against the Iranians, there could be certain uprisings inside Bahrain. I've been there once, it's beautiful. They have some really cute islands here that they're building out there in the sea. I'm not sure. If a tsunami hits, who knows what'll happen. It might be every man for himself. But anyway, Bahrain is maybe one of the countries in the Emirates area, but it's not an emirate. It's an extension of Saudi Arabia. It's an island, and it's also connected to Saudi Arabia by a bridge. It's the border between both the Kingdom of Bahrain and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The monarchy is very close-knit. In fact, when there are protests, they send the Saudi Arabian army to support them. It's a tiny country. Things are the way they are. They move the way they move, and they happen the way they happen. We, Westerners, don't understand it because our culture, philosophy, and way of understanding life are completely different from those of these countries. I don't expect it to be the same. This is the island of fish. It's amazing. When there's money, anything goes. In these places, anything goes. And of course, what they want is to have peace of mind. That's exactly why. These countries, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, they don't want to get involved in the fight because they say we live at a very high standard of living. We don't want to make our population poorer. in a war against Iran. At least they don't want that. They're going to get dragged into this whether they want to or not. That's absolutely clear. But, of course, it's a complicated month, so I know we had a window of opportunity at the beginning of the month. Not everything was ready. You have to train crews. You have to send the aircraft carrier. You have to secure different points along the border. And that takes time. It wouldn't hurt the United States of America. One more month of preparation. It wouldn't hurt them, but be careful with each passing day. Iran is getting stronger. Iran is receiving things from China. It has received electronic warfare systems from Russia, which we have already located. I'm preparing the program. And it's also a risk. It's a risk that Iran launches a surprise attack. If Iran knows that the plan is to attack them, they will attack. That's why now Bibi has gone there. Trump has said that negotiations are ongoing, that everything is fine, that we're going to keep talking. It's precisely to avoid the launch of a surprise attack from Iran. They also don't want to risk launching an attack if they're not sure they're going to destroy the regime. Iran still doesn't really know what the plans of the United States and Israel are. It's an attack like the 12-Day War. It's a total attack to bring down the regime. They don't know. And that lack of knowledge leads them to think that if they launch the attack, they could provoke a full response that brings down the regime. That's likely what they want to avoid. All right. Let's look at some footage. There it is. Marco Rubio, I will live so long. The team of Vivian Marco. Israel joins the peace table. Document signed. The peace table is something that could replace the United Nations in a few years. The United Nations is an organization that is already out of space and time in the future of this planet. It has proven this with all its mistakes, scandals, corruption, and now the United States has a new project. Netanyahu has joined in. But look, Vivi's face smiling. Marco Rubio serious. The situation is tense. The situation is tense because everyone has their own interests. Everyone has their own interests. I was talking about it a while ago with Ariel Kanietsky and Marcelo Kisielski on Marcelo's channel. You have to subscribe to the channel. I recommend you watch it. It's been a very complete show. From my point of view, we've seen different perspectives, different positions, them from Israel, me from outside, the political issue, the current situation. And I see beyond all of this. What I see when I look at Iran is that until recently, Venezuela was one of the main fuel suppliers for Russia. And for China, because Russia has oil, make no mistake, but for China, it was one of the main ones. And facilitators of fuel it is. In fact, in exchange, China gives it fuel for its missiles. That's what exploded here before the 12-day war a week in Bandar Abbas. We had that mega explosion of hundreds of containers and things like that, which exploded down there in the cargo terminal. And it was around here, yes, in this place. This is where the catastrophe with the missile fuel happened. Someone dropped a cigarette, like I always say, a barbecue. And I think the United States sees beyond all of this. Is it true they want to end the regime? They know those missiles will eventually be able to reach the United States. It's only a matter of time. They already have the capability to launch satellites and have made significant progress. At the Khomeini Space Center, that place we saw the other day with the premiere we did, the re-premiere of a pretty interesting program which I really like. They know that in the long run they're going to have to face Iran, not one-on-one obviously, but they will have to spend a fortune on anti-aircraft missiles to stop the waves of missiles that will reach Florida, Washington, and a lot of other places. The United States doesn't want its country to be seen getting bombed with ballistic missiles, as happened in Israel. Those lights falling from the sky that looked like they were coming from another planet, an alien invasion? Well, the truth is that's great in the movie Independence Day, but in reality, no country likes to see those kinds of things, falling, Israel being the first one that doesn't, so that's point one, but there's more. Subtitles made by Dimitrorzak. If we cause the fall of the Ayatollah's regime, and we have control of the oil, China runs out of fuel. China will have to buy oil at market price. They won't be as competitive anymore. They won't be able to flood the market with their products because they won't be so cheap. Now, refining plastics, polyvinyl chloride, and all these things won't be so cheap for them. They'll need to cut their military budget, which might be of great interest to the United States of America. One of the reasons for the whole Venezuela issue is to prevent them from selling it to China and Russia. Are you aware of the ghost photo they've been using recently, even in the Indian Ocean? All right. That would be another important point. The control over the management of Iran's hydrocarbon potential, which is among the most powerful in the world, along with Venezuela. And would they already have secured or marked the global supply lines for the rest of history? That would practically leave China and Russia in a weakened position, obviously, and it would bring an era or an important period of tranquility. In the entire Persian Gulf region, with affordable prices, fuel prices could drop significantly. It's not in Saudi Arabia's interest for fuel prices to fall too low, since they would earn less money. But there's another guy who isn't interested in any way in lifting the embargo on Iran, and that's Turkey, even though they are enemies. Because they are, since each one has its own interests, and each one wants to be the regional power in that part of the world. Right now, most of the oil pipelines and gas pipelines that come from Qatar, and oil pipelines that come from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and others cross into Turkey, and from Turkey reach Europe. But what we could see here is that if Iran gets out of that embargo, hypothetically, they wouldn't have to go through anymore. Those pipelines through Turkey could take a much more northern route, avoiding Turkish territory, entering through the Black Sea, and reaching Bulgaria and Romania directly. A series of projects that are quite interesting. There's another future project as well, which is another thing that makes Turkey very nervous, and that's the construction of hydrocarbon pipelines that go through Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Israel. directly to the Mediterranean, towards Greece, obviously bypassing the whole Turkish situation. This makes them very nervous, and that's why they're always putting pressure on Cyprus, because Cyprus would be a base station for that kind of pipeline, which would then go to Greece and the rest of Europe. This greatly interests Greece, which is why it has recently supported Israel so much. If you notice, war is not only fought with weapons, it's also fought with the economy and with strategy. And this is pure strategy. What we're seeing right now is one of the greatest displays of geostrategy that exist in humanity, or that we've seen in recent times. When is Bibi coming back? Bibi will be back very, very soon. Netanyahu will return to Israel very soon. He will come back with his backpack full of information. He will have presented more information about the risks of the Iranian nuclear program and the missile issue. And he will have made it very clear. Trump will have said, we have to wait a little. Bibi will have said, no, yes, I'll wait as much as you want. But if I'm not convinced by what you do, I'm not going to accept it. If it's like what happened last time, the 12-day war, and in the end, it led Trump to launch the attack on Fordo and on Natanz. Israel has its ways. Some are better than others. Ideally, it should be something joint, agreed upon, which in the end, it will be at the last moment. It will be because the Iranians are not going to give in. So it's practically a guaranteed war, no matter what, of Iran against the rest of the countries in the region. I think this is very clear. So that's the thing. Netanyahu, Bibi, Netanyahu. A man, but with two forms, night and day, by Bibi. Downpour in Israel and downpour outside of Israel. It's tremendous. But, well, I think he's going to do well. I think Bibi's going to do well. And that they, and the women too, because there are women who carry that in their hands. The freedom of the people of Israel. They're going to do it. Great. Family, your likes, your comments. We're live on Military Strategies. Give the channel a little boost. Let's share what we're talking about, what we're seeing right now. And man, it's important. Really important. Super important. Let's see what happens. And how far we are able to go. By the way, at home, things are still the same. The ATAM, the light armored infantry vehicle, entering Judea and Samaria today. Is that all about the topics? What are they going to do there? What will happen there? This is full of mysteries. We'll be solving each one of them, right? What's going to happen in Judea and Samaria? What's going to happen in Gaza? Are they going to disarm or not? We'll see about that tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Family, I'm going to quickly get ready for the Mexico thing because I don't want to miss it. What happened? And let's see if Claudia Simbao comes to her senses. See you in the next show here on Military Strategies. Take care.